What's up everybody, it's Realistic with Realistic Productions doing another tutorial for SoundOracle.net. And what I'm going to go over today is it's highly demanded. I know Oracle keeps getting asked about it, I keep getting asked about it, so figured I'd finally do a tutorial on it. And what we're going to do is go over some different techniques for sidechaining. I'm just going to go over the process, kind of go through how you do it, explain what it does, and some different techniques that we can use it for, because there's a bunch of different things that you can use it for. Alright, let's dive in.
Alright, in this video we're going to be going over sidechaining, so go ahead, if you're capable of it, open up your DAW of choice. You'll find that you learn a lot more if you do these with me instead of trying to hold on to the information and remember it for later. And as always, these tips and tricks will be able to work in any DAW. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be starting off in Pro Tools, showing you some things of sidechaining, and then I'm going to open up Ableton and Logic as well later in the video to show you how to do the bussing and sidechaining in there, because it's just a little bit different in Pro Tools. That way you got a couple different options just in case Pro Tools isn't the one that you use. But what I'm starting out with, these are different techniques that you can use in every DAW. And so what we're going to be doing is with sidechaining is we're going to be taking one source or signal and we're going to use that signal to control some type of dynamic effect on another channel. So what I mean by that is we'll start with this kick actually, and we're going to the kick drum, the signal of that is actually going to control some parameters and stuff on a different plugin. And so just open up a bus, and I'm just going to name it kick SC for kick sidechain. Just make sure that your fader level is all the way up. You can just hit option click and it will pop all the way up. And so you've seen me do this before with kick and bass and kick and 808 quite a bit. So why don't we just start with that, since that's definitely one of the more common ones here. We'll open up, we'll put a multi-band compressor on there. That's what I've normally done in the past. So now we got the kick sent, and now we got to choose where it's going to be. So kick SC, and then just make sure you go whatever plugin that you're using. I'll open a couple different plugins just to kind of show you, but you just want to make sure that it's either external or sidechain. It's going to be different on different plugins, but for this one it's called external. Before I hit external, actually I'll just show you what the compressor does by itself. Yeah, you can see that it's the 808 there is what's triggering the compressor, and that's actually with sidechaining what we don't want. We got a kick and we got a 808 here. And we just want them to be able to agree a little bit more. And that's a big thing of what people use sidechaining for, is to compress something else while something else is going on. That way you can make room for something. And so if I go to external here, you'll see that when the kick hits, the compressor will compress the 808 then. Yeah, you can see when the kick doesn't strike that there's nothing going on with the compressor, and then when the kick does strike, then we're hearing things going on with the compressor. Multi-band compressing is definitely one thing that I really like doing with sidechaining, just because I can choose what frequencies that I want to compress, which I think is really cool for 808s and kick drums together. You can just get this whole little area down here. And so what that's going to do is going to create room in the frequency spectrum for us. So I'll show you kind of what that sounds like. And then without it, with it. Yeah, so the kick drum's just kicking through a little bit more when we do that. A lot of people don't use the multi-band. They'll just use a regular compressor, so I'll just show you that. Again, just want to engage your sidechain or external, whatever it may be called in that situation. And then we make sure that we got the key input kick sidechain, which we do. And then I'll show you a really exaggerated version of it. Yeah, that's really exaggerated just so you can hear it. You see how it's just ducking it out. All right, so another thing that you can use for side chaining is gating, which is pretty cool. So let's go down, and I got a instrument in the chorus here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this lead synth in the chorus, and I'm gonna use a gate on it, and the kick drum is gonna open and close the gate for us. And then that way it creates some really rhythmic kind of senses and different feels to it. So I'll show you that. We're gonna go ahead and add in our key input as our kick side chain, and then you gotta, on the fab filter one, just go down to expert mode, go to external. Now the gate knows that the kick drum is gonna control it. What you're going to be able to hear is that only when the kick drum strikes, the gate will open up, and then we'll be able to hear that synth. And then without it, with it, and then if you want to, if you've ever want to create something that's really rhythmic and pulsating like that, but you don't want, like, let's say you're using a kick drum to do it, or some type of rhythmic value, and you don't want to hear that, a couple things you can do: you can mute it and then just put it on pre-fader. Or another thing that you can do is you can just put it so that it has no output. And I'll show you what that sounds like in the mix here. Yeah, so that's a couple different options that you could do. You could use different gates. I'll show you how to use that too, if just in case you don't got this gate right here. I mean, you could just use a stock plugin too, especially for just gating. Definitely no reason why you couldn't use a stock plugin here. So yeah, we'll just grab this, and again, we want to make sure the key input is kick sidechain, which when I'm toggling through it in Pro Tools, it just automatically stay in there. But then we're going to engage the sidechain so the gate knows that it's going to be controlled by some external source, and then play that for you. And then if you ease up on the range too, you won't hear it bleeding through the gate when the kick isn't going. And then if you have a faster attack, it's going to open up a lot faster. And if you want something that kind of just eases in a little bit more, sounds a little bit smoother, you do slower attack. And then we got our hold and release too. That's going to control how long it stays open and sustains for. So those are a couple different options that you could do with side chaining. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Ableton and just show you how to do some side chaining in there as well. All right, so now I got Ableton open up. Just wanted to show you a little bit of how you can do some side chaining in Ableton as well. I just threw some loops together that I got from Oracle's Spacewalk and the drum loops that came with the Articulate pack as well. Just a little something, but just to kind of show you what you can do with the side chaining in Ableton as well. And what I did too is I left some spaces open here with the drums just so we could really see what's going on with the side chaining and the compressors and everything. So what we want to do is we want to create a return in Ableton, and you can do that by just doing Option Control T on a Mac, and on a Windows, I believe it's Control Alt T. So now we got our return. What we're gonna do is the drums are gonna control the compressor that is going to be on the melody loop. And so now let's throw a compressor on the melody here. And then again, we'll just tell it that it's going to be an external source so that the compressor knows where it's going. So then you just want to tell the return to go to the melody, And after that, then you want to make sure that track in that we know that it's going to be coming from the multi-band compressor, so FF Fab Filter Pro MB. And then as far as the drums, you want to make sure this is send A right here, as you can see the letter A. So you just want to turn this up right here, and then you'll be able to see that the drums are what's going to control it then. Yeah, so you can see right there that the drums, when they're being active, they're controlling the compressor here. And then we're able to just duck down on the low end of the melody just so the drums can cut through a little bit more. It's not necessarily what I would do as far as just throwing an entire drum groove, sending it to a multi-band compressor of a melody, but I just wanted to kind of show you how to do it in Ableton so you know how to do that. And then too, that's how you do it with third-party plugins, but if you're just using just your regular stock plugins, you'll be able to just throw on the sidechain option on there. So if you hit this arrow down, then you got your sidechain right there, and then you can choose where it's coming from. So we got audio from drums now. Again, I'm exaggerating it just so you can really hear it. And so that's how you do it in Ableton, and you got to see how you could do it with a third-party plugins or see how you can do it with the stock plugins in Ableton. All right, so now I'm going to go to Logic and show you how to do it in there as well. All right, so now I got Logic open up here, and I'll show you how you can do this in Logic. It's going to be a little bit similar to Pro Tools, so what we're going to do is we're going to just throw on, let's say, like a compressor right on the loop here. And this is just something, again, I just threw together from some different stuff I got from Oracle packs. Just something real quick just to show you what we can do here. All right, so now we got a compressor here, and what we want to do is we want to send the kick drum to this loop. So I'll show you what we got here. So we're going to select the kick drum here, and we're going to choose send. So we'll just choose, I don't know, like bus 2 because it's not being used right now. Go back to the loop, and up here we got our side chain, and that's where we'll choose bus 2 because bus 2 sending the kick information. So then you just want to turn up this volume right here so it knows how much to send to our source. And again, we're just going to choose that it's external so that it's aware that that's what's being sent to it, that it's not the loop that's going to control the compressor, that it's an external source. Again, I'm exaggerating it quite a bit just to show you what it can do, but you can definitely ease up. Yep, and that's how you would do the side chaining in Logic. Hopefully you were able to get some use out of these videos. Hopefully the side chaining is a little bit more clear and know how to use it. There's definitely a lot of applications. It's used in several types of genres of music on all different types of level, from the local level all the way to the top of the industry. Side chaining is being used. So definitely encourage you to go out there and try it as much as you can.
So I'm hoping that you got a lot out of this tutorial today. Hopefully there's some information that was useful. If you're getting a lot out of this but you want to see more, please feel free to comment below. Let us know what kind of tutorials that you want to see in the future, and Oracle and I can definitely make that happen. We're always trying to find the content that you want to see. If you're liking what you're hearing from me, you can find me everywhere on social media at Realistic Productions. You can find me at the web, realisticproductions.net. You can find my man SoundOracle everywhere at SoundOracle. And if you're looking for the best 808s, the best kicks, the best snares with the craziest loops and samples you can find on the internet right now, go to SoundOracle.net. All right, till next time.